Good morning, world. Welcome to another week on the road. As you can see, I'm up a lot earlier this morning. It's Sunday morning, and there's a good reason for that. I wanted to avoid the heat. It's going to be a hot one today, and I have to start rationing water. So anyway, what a way to start the week. Thanks for joining along. Let's get walking. So good morning again, and welcome to another week. Yeah, just a little explainer why I'm up so early. It's been hot, like in the mid 30s, 33, 34 the last couple of days, and I'm trying to beat the heat. It's warm already at 5 o'clock. So I did get up at 4:30. Sun wasn't quite up yet. I had to pack up with my headlamp on. But I'm hoping that this is going to help get me through the bulk of the day. And I have to start rationing water because on the other side of Swift Current, where I'm going to get today, there are very few stops for me to get water. So it's going to be a challenging week. I'm glad you're joining me again. I'm glad you're hanging out, but it's going to be a fun one. So there's a young guy just a little ways back here that went out of his way, turned around, and asked me as I was having a snack on the side of the road, asked me where I was headed. I told him I was going to Victoria, and he said, "You're sitting on the wrong side of the road. You're not going to get a ride going this way because we're going to Regina." I said, "Well, I'm not hitchhiking. I'm walking." He hesitated and he looked at me and he said, "You're weird." Good morning, world. So it's Monday morning. I'm just leaving the campground here. I didn't want to make any noise right there because people were still sleeping in their tents. I don't know how. It's noisy enough. But I'm just going to grab myself a bite to eat here, a little bit of breakfast, and a few groceries, and hit the road. Let's get going. Good morning again. So I'm finally making my way out of Swift Current. Unfortunately, I had to stick around until the grocery store opened, which wasn't until 9 o'clock. And then it's another 4 kilometers or 5 kilometers to walk out of the city. So long delay in this heat is not a good thing, but it was necessary. And I would have done that all yesterday, but it was Sunday. Things were closed. So I've got an interesting week coming up here. Yesterday was 36 degrees. It feels like it's going to be at least that hot again today. And it's supposed to be in the 30s for a week now, for the foreseeable future. So I'm carrying 7 liters of water and juice with me, and this has to get me to Gull Lake, which is, I should arrive there by tomorrow afternoon. I'll be fine. I just have to use my head, ration my fluids, and get out of the sun at the peak of it in the middle of the afternoon. I'll try and find some shade and kill a few hours that way. But wish me luck. It's going to be a tough week. All right, just found a little bit of shade here. No trees around, so I'm using this round bale this round bale here as a shady spot. It's the only thing around, and it's working. I'm comfortable here. Smells good. Yeah, it's a tough day. A lot of heat. It's tough walking in this kind of heat when all I'm thinking about is eating watermelon and sitting on a patio in the shade with some friends and drinking cold beer, If it wasn't for the walk today, that'd be It'd be a perfect day for doing that kind of stuff. Yeah, spend the day on a patio with some friends. That'd be ideal in this kind of weather. My first pump jacks on the road, and they're actually working. I filled my bottle of Shea Ronald this morning with ice and water, and I still have ice at 5 o'clock. Sweet. It's Kathy's birthday today. If you're watching, Kathy, happy birthday. I wish I was there celebrating with you. Sitting on a patio, having a cold drink, or in an air-conditioned restaurant. Wouldn't that be sweet? Anyway, happy birthday. All right, that's my Monday. That's it. It was a great day, actually. It was wonderful. Despite the late start and sweltering heat, I really enjoyed today. You know, and little things really pleased me that normally go on overlooked. I still had a little bit of ice in the water that I'd filled up this morning at 6:30 a.m. at Rotten Ronald's, and it's after 7 now. 13 hours. And that might not seem like a big deal, but man, oh man, it felt so good to have some ice cold water. Small things, right? Small things. You know, while I was setting up camp here, there was no traffic at all. And now it's crazy as I'm recording. It seems like every time I pull the GoPro out, the traffic picks up. Anyway, more babbling. I just want to give a shout out to last night's host. You know, I'm not crazy about these in-town campgrounds because they're noisy and it's just like a grass parking lot. But Bobby over at Ponderosa campground she was fantastic, and the place was clean, and I had the longest, most enjoyable shower, and yeah, it was great. I'm gonna forget all about the 10K that I had to do walking across town and then back for that other campground. That was a bust, and the guy was rude, so we'll forget all about that one. Lots of talking. I'm done for the day. I'll talk to you in the morning. Cheers. Good morning, world. It is Tuesday morning, I think. They're all the same day to me. I'll keep track for you. I had an amazing sleep. It was fantastic. A little bit of a breeze this morning, and the sunrise was beautiful. Yeah, it's great. It's really great. I'm looking forward to today. It's going to be an amazing walk. So thanks for joining me. Let's get going. All right, just coming into Gull Lake. It's only 11 o'clock, but I'm gonna have some lunch somewhere and pick up a few groceries for the long stretch to Maple Creek from here. Well, Gull Lake was cute, so to speak, I guess. Lunch was amazing. And I've got a lot of ice water, so it's hot today. Not a breath of wind right now. It's going to be a challenging afternoon, but what are you going to do? shade. All right, that's my Tuesday. It was a scorcher again, but it was a good day. I really enjoyed stopping in Gull Lake there. Had a great lunch. The server there was a fantastic girl. Filled up lots of ice and water for me. Yeah, she was nice. It was just a great day. Simple. Nothing out of the ordinary. You know, kind of a boring walk, but it was a great day. And yeah, it's going to be another one tomorrow. Nothing exciting going on, but it'll be good. All right, I'm going to climb into my little tent here. I will talk to you in the morning. Cheers. Good morning, world. As you can see, I stayed in bed a little bit longer this morning. I'm going to be hitting Tompkins in a couple hours, and there's a little cafe there that I want to stop in at, and it doesn't open until 9, so there was no rush getting out of bed early. Besides, it's a cool morning. It's unbelievable that we can, be in the mid-30s, and I think we're in the single digits right now. So it's a big change from, the middle of the night until the middle of the day. Anyway, I'm going to pack up camp here. Let's get going. For curious onlookers as I'm packing up camp here. So you might be curious what staying in bed late means to me. It's not that much later. I was still awake at my usual time, around 5:15, and I just laid in bed instead of getting up right away. And so that means that I'm on the road by 6:30 instead of 5:30, 6 o'clock. Traffic gets a little bit heavier around this time, as you can tell. And I'm not really going by the clock. It's the time that the light starts to come out. It's not sunrise at 5 o'clock, but it starts getting lighter in my tent, and that just gently wakes me. I'm kind of spoiled that way. So yeah, a typical morning for me is I get up with the sun, I pack up, and I take my time, usually 15-20 minutes to pack up my camp, and then I head down the road. So I'm sure once I hit BC and the time changes again, things are going to be different, but I'm still going to be getting up with the sun. Sometimes I'm walking along here, it's hard to wrap my head around the fact that there used to be millions and millions of bison just roaming around here wild. It would have been quite the sight to see. The reason I'm thinking about that this morning is a couple days ago I passed a turnoff to Grasslands National Park, and again, phenomenal that 35-40% of North America was once covered by grassland, and now it's all farmed. The only original grassland is that little tiny park at the south end of Saskatchewan. It's kind of a shame, and I guess our ingenuity is impressive at the same time. And another reason I'm thinking about all of that is because I'm coming close to a turnoff for Cypress Hills Interprovincial Park. And if you've never heard of it, it's a kind of a high point on the prairies. It might not look like it when I show you on the GoPro. We'll be able to see it from a distance. But once you get close to it, you realize it is a high point. In fact, it was the only spot in Canada east of the Rockies that wasn't covered in the last ice age. So because of that, it's got a lot of interesting fossils and archaeological facts and things like that. it's an interesting little place. Unfortunately, it's out of the way. I'm not going to be taking you there, and I've been there several times before. Very cool little place, very cool little park. But if you're curious, look it up. It's interesting. Hopefully that's going to cool things off a bit. I'm about to make the count go up to 3. I knew I was coming. Got the wash hanging. And this is a sod house. You know, as I'm walking along here in this kind of isolated part of Saskatchewan, you know, very few farms. They're big farms, but few farmyards, and the towns are spread out. I often think of Robin Davidson and her adventure. If you haven't read it, I would say go out and read Tracks. It's a fantastic book. Yeah, an amazing adventure, and to think that she did that back in the late 70s as a young girl in her 20s. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. It gives me a lot of inspiration, even as an old dude walking in a relatively safe, populated part of the world, you know. And if you're not into reading, you know, the movie Tracks is very well done. Robin had a lot of input in the movie. You know, and I think about my water situation as I'm walking along here. I can pull out my phone and look at the map and plan things ahead. You know, and at the most I've got to carry a couple of days worth of water with me, which is heavy. It's a challenge for sure, but not at all what she dealt with crossing the Australian desert in the heat there. It was, I imagine, much worse than this. You know, it was a desert. It's very different than what I'm doing. So yeah, a very inspirational kind of a story and adventure. And I also think back to when I was 22. I cycled from Mexico down, or sorry, from Toronto down into Mexico, just on the Gulf side there. And at the time, nobody was really cycle touring, or it was very rare. It wasn't a common thing like it is nowadays. But I had civilization with me all the time. And just as I do now, you know, this traffic is really annoying, and I wish I could walk without the noise and the idiots crossing the line and, you know, that sort of thing. But at the same time, there's some safety to it, you know. It's there's a sense of security knowing that I've got people around me, and the majority of them would help if I needed it, you know. So it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. But yeah, when I draw comparisons, which I shouldn't do because this is not a challenge compared to what Robin did, yeah, she was amazing. Yeah, go and read the book or watch the movie. It's great. How y'all doing? Good day? All right, that's my Wednesday. All settled in here and done for the day. It was a great day, actually, even with the heat and the traffic. There's a lot of traffic today and last night. I don't know why it's heavier around here, but anyway, it was a great day. Really enjoyed my time in Tompkins. That was it. That was a little town. It was cool there. And I met some great people at the rest stop while I was there. Other than that, it was quiet, boring day, but it was great. I had a good time. Yeah, it was a good day. No complaints. I'm tired. Gonna go to bed. I'll talk to you in the morning. Cheers. Good morning, world. What a beautiful, crisp morning this is. I haven't been so glad to put on socks in a long time. It's cold. It's really cold. It's going to be frost in a few weeks if this keeps up, or even less. So I'm going to pack up quickly. Let's get going. Last bit of a cinnamon bun from yesterday's bakery. And how's that for a way to wake up in the morning? This is how much the sound carries in the morning, especially on a crisp day like this. Isn't that crazy? Yeah. Gravel shoulders. Look, here's a little escapee. He's gonna have fun getting back with the rest. So if you were to look at a map of the area I'm walking through right now, and you see that I'm on the Trans-Canada Highway, heading west, obviously. When I get to Maple Creek, it is quite a distance from the Trans-Canada Highway south. I think more than an hour's walk. I'm not 100% sure, but more than an hour's walk. So you might be wondering, why am I going to add 2 or 3 hours to my walking today unnecessarily? Well, it is kind of necessary. I need to get water for sure, because it's a long stretch to Walsh after that. But I want to get some food, and there is a craft brewery there, so I want to check this all out. Maple Creek is a town I've heard a lot about, and I want to explore. So off in the distance, way off, that's like 30-40 kilometers away, that is Cypress Hills. And as I mentioned earlier, that's the only part of Canada east of the Rockies that was not covered in the last ice age. So I'm close. I could go, but I'm not gonna. I've been there before. Okay, this is getting crazy. That one just took my hat off. All right, Maple Creek was lovely. Nice little town. I enjoyed myself there. But once again, I'm leaving town with too much in my belly and far more water, much more water than I wanted in my backpack. But it's 50k to the next location where I can get water and food. So do what you got to do, right? That's my Thursday. I'm wiped. The heat really sucked the life out of me today, but I did enjoy whatever town this was, Maple Creek. I really did enjoy Maple Creek. It was a good town, and I ate far too well, and yeah, I enjoyed myself. But I am really wiped out. The life sucked right out of me today, so I'm gonna crash and listen to this. I'm far from the highway and any traffic, so this is gonna be a beautiful, sweet night. All right, talk to you in the morning. Cheers. Good morning, world. So peaceful out here. I'd like to tell you I slept like a baby, but I got a hole in my mattress last night, so I've been sleeping right on the ground, and my hips are sore, I gotta tell you. So I'm gonna try and repair that today if possible. Otherwise, I could have an uncomfortable few nights before I pick up a new mattress in Medicine Hat. Anyway, it's peaceful here. It's beautiful. I am thankful for that anyway. I'm gonna get going. How's the irony in that? I'm always saying that I sleep like a baby. Last night I actually did. I was up every hour, at least. Oh well. I survived, and I did get some sleep, so it's all good. And I've got this road all to myself, at least for the next half hour or so. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. And I say, it's all right. So an interesting little campground that I passed on my way to the highway this morning. And online it said that they've got a restaurant and a tiki bar and an indoor pool and all kinds of stuff. And they did. Unfortunately, nothing's open until much later this afternoon. But it's cool that a campground here, middle of nowhere, has a tiki bar. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna be heading off. Hopefully make it to Walsh by this evening, and they don't have much there, but there's a convenience store, so I'll be able to get some cold drinks and fill up with water again, and I should be golden until Medicine Hat. I filled up with some water back at that campground and used their washroom, washed my hands. They had coconut soap. It smells great. Back to this racket. Oi. Well, Saskatchewan, you were lovely, but it's time for Alberta to shine. Alright, that's my Friday. I'm just at a little rest area here in Walsh. It was a long day, a hot day, real hot, and exhausting. Yeah, no shade at all. And I think I walked about 47, something like that. So I'm tired. The heat got to me. I'm rehydrated again, and unfortunately I wasn't able to find the leak in that mattress. I checked a couple of times today in inflated it and tried to find the hole, but just didn't have any luck. So I'll be sleeping on the ground the next couple of nights until I get into Medicine Hat, and then they've got a Valhalla Pure Outfitters there. I'll stop in their store and see if I can't get a new mattress. But I'm pooped, so I'm going to go to bed now. I'll talk to you in the morning. Cheers. Good morning, world. So, once again, I was sleeping on the ground. Can't say it was a good night. But one more night and I think I'll be in Medicine Hat. I'll be able to pick up a new mattress. And it's a windy one this morning for some reason, but it's mild. It's really warm, so I'm sure it's going to be another hot one. Let's get going. Silly it is that I'm complaining about sleeping on the ground. I'm sure I'd get used to it over time. And I mean, for a lot of people out there watching this, they probably have a hard time understanding how I can sleep on that little mattress every night in the cold and in the hot and in the rain and, you know, all that challenging weather. I guess I would get used to it eventually. It's been hard for me the last couple of nights. You know, sore hips for sure. I'm a side sleeper, and even my knees from laying right on the ground get sore. The good news is I get up and I start walking and I feel fine. I feel great. So shouldn't complain, right? I got a place to sleep. That's the important thing. Last night Paul had mentioned to me that I walked through one of the best dark sky areas in the country just these last few days, and on top of that there was a lot of northern light activity. But unfortunately, you know, evenings I climb into my tent and I'm usually so wiped out that I don't have the energy to get up in the night and check out the sky. I should, but I just don't have the energy for it. And especially with what's happened with my mattress the last couple of nights, it's it's a challenge. So I'm content with the mornings. I'm a morning guy. I like the sunrise. And how could you not, right? So I really want to just apologize for all the complaining I've been doing lately about the heat and, you know, now with my mattress. And in the grand scheme of things, I'm really enjoying myself still. It's not that I'm having bad days. They're good days. It's just that's minor inconveniences, right? And all of it, the heat's going to pass. I'm going to be complaining about the cold before long, you know, and really, as a few nights on the ground is not going to kill me. I've been spoiled, so no complaints. Things are good. I'm loving life. I'm still loving the walk, and I'll try to complain less about the heat. It will pass. This too shall pass. All right, let's get going. If you can see that, 3 coyotes and a couple of buffalo. So I'm not sure if those coyotes were just curious about me, like a lot of animals are, or if they were thinking I was a snack, but they were tracking me for quite some time, you know, good 5 minutes or so. And at one point they got, you know, within 200 meters or so. So maybe a little bit nervous, but I mean, it's safe here. I got lots of traffic around me, and I do have my bear spray if I needed it. So I'm not that worried. but it was interesting nonetheless. And yes, I know they were cows, they weren't buffalo. There was a happy accident. Wandered through Irvine and there was a little muffin shop that had bacon and eggs for breakfast. Sweet. You know, I've had a lot of bacon and egg breakfasts along the way here. Yeah, way more than I normally would. I don't eat bacon and eggs that often, once a week maybe at the most. But anyway, if you're looking for something, you're driving to Trans-Canada in the prairies, and you're looking for a decent breakfast, it's pretty hard to screw up bacon and eggs. But I gotta mention, in Moose Jaw, there was a little truck stop just east of town, and the restaurant was called R&S Diner or something like that, R&D, something like that. Not only was one of the tastiest bacon and eggs I've had, but breakfast with coffee was $7. That was fantastic. You know, I just met a real interesting guy this morning who's cycling from the Arctic Circle out to Gaspésie. Simon, he's from Gaspésie, and he's doing a fundraiser for a hospice. They want to build a hospice in his community. They don't have one there. He was just a real nice guy. Interesting. We had a good conversation. It was brief, but it was good. So if you're interested in checking out his fundraiser, don't quote me on it, but I think it was called La Grande Traverse de Simon, something like that. I know my French isn't very good, but I'm pretty sure if you Googled it and a hospice fundraiser in Gaspésie, you'd find it. Anyway, he's a cool guy. Check him out. So I just want to talk quickly about something that I think a lot of people are curious about, but it's uncomfortable for them to ask about it, and understandably so, and that's my personal hygiene. It's different on the road for sure. When it comes to my mouth, a lot of you know I was a dental hygienist before, so you know, brushing and flossing is still happening. In fact, I probably brush more often. It's just at different times. I'm doing it through the day as I'm walking. I'm flossing while I'm walking. When it comes to washing though, obviously I'm not getting a shower every day. I would like to have one, especially lately with all this hot weather and I'm sweating so much, but you know, I get showers when I'm in a campground or in a hotel or when I was staying with family, obviously. And most days I do get to wash head to toe. But truthfully, there are some days that pass that I don't get to wash. You know, water's a pretty scarce commodity sometimes on the prairie here. And if it comes down to whether or not I get something to drink or I need to wash, I drink. Now that being said though, I'm a pretty fortunate guy. I don't smell too much usually. I mean, I'm human, so I do smell once in a while. But I've been lucky most of my life that I'm not a stinky kind of a guy. And I think my parents were that way too. So I just inherited it, I guess. Now that being said, I do smell once in a while, but usually if I wash, I'm good. And when it comes to my feet, you know, again, I'm pretty lucky. I don't smell a whole bunch, but I went through a little phase here just back in the beginning of Saskatchewan, and while I was hanging out with family, that my feet and my shoes were really smelling bad. And I never put two and two together, but it was around that time that I started using a polypropylene sock liners, and synthetics just don't work as well. They stink a lot worse. I knew that already with synthetic t-shirts and that sort of thing, so I try and stay away from that sort of thing. And you know, when I hit Moose Jaw, I put two and two together and I started wearing my wool sock liners again, and my feet are good again. there's a little bit of stink once in a while, but it's really minor in grand scheme of things. So that's just something to keep in mind. Natural fibers, whether it's cotton or wool, I would say wool's the best. You know, if you can stick to those natural things, there's less likelihood of smell, which means that there's probably less bacteria going on, right? So, in case you were curious, I know some people were, so that's my take on it. Just for some context, look at the size of this bad boy. All right, this is future Sunday morning Tony talking to you. I had a heck of a day yesterday, long day, did more than 60K, and I did make it to Medicine Hat. It was a long slug. But I made it, and I didn't really have much of a choice at the time. There wasn't much for me to try and camp in between Dunmore and Medicine Hat, so I just had to keep going. And I arrived, it was late. It was not quite dark, but it was too late to record. I just crashed right away. But I survived. Week was great. It was a hot week, but I met a lot of great people, and I was in a lot of really cool communities, and I'm really cranking out the kilometers here. I'm getting along further and faster than I had planned, but it's a great week. Once again, thanks for hanging out with me. I will be a little more concise tomorrow morning when you watch next week's videos. And again, thanks for hanging out with me. Please subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you again next week. Cheers.